You go. I'm going to save that right here. I know it's going to do the thing if I copy it over. There we go. Now we're live. But sorry, I'm going to fix it right now. I'm ahead of the game.
I could put it in chat if you want.
Nope, I got it already. Opens in new tab, has been erased.
You're so smart.
Who the hell's calling me? I got a spammer calling me. Go away, spammer. One of those days. There we go. Okay, good. Now I've got it. Easy access.
Good morning.
Stuff.
Hi, Holly.
Good morning, Holly. So, all these wonderful new energies coming in. How's your week been so far?
This week?
I realize it's only Tuesday, but it feels like it's already been a week in the week.
Well, okay, so I live in Knoxville, and if we even have snow that sticks, we get all excited. And right now I have like 7 inches of snow, maybe more, everywhere. Can't get out. My street, you can't even see it. It's just like snow.
Yep,
And
they're
it's
not
very
even
hilly.
they don't plow here until they're like, nope, we wait till it's done. We don't even bother plowing until it's done snowing around here.
Where do you live?
It's like waste of time. I'm in the Appalachian Mountains of Pennsylvania. I had to think of where I was for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been here that long.
They don't even have snow plows in Knoxville. Yeah, I think they borrowed some. But I mean, that doesn't bode well. They're not going to come in my neighborhood, which is like literally you go up like this and then you go straight down to the bottom. Mm-hmm. I mean, but yeah. And my husband's stuck 3 hours away, but he'll make it home eventually.
I grew up in the snow belt of Syracuse, up in New York, and it was awful. Between the Great Lakes and the Finger Lakes, we would get bombarded with snow in the middle. And I'll never forget. I mean, it was probably 6 feet of snow we got overnight one night. It was the craziest thing. Like, we don't get to get snow like that anymore. Not as much as we used to. Knock on wood, of course.
Well, I used to live in Chicago and I lived in New York. So, I mean, I've seen like 27 inches of snow, 30 inches of snow. But I had a shovel. That's the difference. I don't have a shovel here because, what would I need it for?
Christina's laughing today. She's got a snow removal business. She's calling it white gold. Oh yeah, go Christina.
That's amazing.
Nice.
I don't think anyone would have that here. Because,
exactly. She's the happiest one here today.
Because we never need snow removal. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta love it.
So my week's been a little interesting. I mean, my kid's home and school's like canceled forever. So literally they're like, we don't know when we're coming back. But I mean, we're just trying to keep the cat from going crazy. That's basically. And then, my husband's not here. So hopefully he can make it back in a few days when they open the interstates. It's interesting.
Crazy.
Yeah, so it feels a little bit out of time, when things happen and you feel out of time. Like, if you lose someone you love or like something weird happens, like knocks you really out of your routine and you feel like you're kind of in this in-between space.
That's how I felt for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's just been one of those weird intermittent things where I don't even feel real half the day. Like sometimes like, the last few days, I've been like, what is even going on? Like, it doesn't feel real almost. Like, things are starting to get strange.
I think we're really starting to break through the matrix in ways where we can really feel like, where you have that feeling which is a little bit different than I'm talking about. But
like that pinch me moment, where you're like, somebody pinch me. That's how I feel because it's just been so surreal.
-9 in Montana this morning. It's supposed to be -3 last night here. Which, what?
Thanks.
Knoxville. Like, we're in the South. It's the South. The funny thing is I saw something about this. I saw some weather thing about this. Yeah, it came across my feed a couple, like in December, like we're expecting this crazy winter storm to go through the United States, but it was crazy. It was like expect negative 20 degrees in Knoxville. And I was like, But I checked and I got that we would get like a winter storm. So I ordered some new, mittens and stuff for my kid. Of course, they showed up, they didn't fit. I sent them back and I forgot about it. So my kid lost one. So he's got like one mitten and like one sock outside when he gets outside to play. 19 degrees in Louisiana.
Mine's waiting to go outside. I said, nope, not until after the podcast. Then you can go outside and play in it. And he's like, like he wants to be out there right now in it.
I know.
Like, bless him. No, thank you. I can't handle the cold for too long. Like I'm definitely I loved South Africa. I didn't see snow for 6 years.
Did you live there for 6 years? That's awesome.
Yeah. Almost 7.
No snow.
Yeah.
Is it true they have shrimp like this big? That's what I'm most interested in.
Most people go for the calamari, to be honest. But yeah, I'm going down to the beach next month. I got 3 weeks in South Africa. Sorry, 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, I have a week in South Africa where I'll be spending it on the beach. I'm very excited about it.
This sounds wonderful. Well, it's not so. I'm sure next week it'll be 60 degrees.
Fingers crossed. We need to use all our power of manifestation. Just push it north.
Right? I mean, I'm not surprised this happened either because the lines in the sky have been like stupid. Like it looks like a grid constantly. So all that heart
the
stuff.
Solar flares have been intense too. A lot of people are thinking that's why people are starting to see weird stuff popping up, like those ETs in Miami and stuff. And it makes you wonder, really, if the frequency in certain areas is going to raise enough to kind of break that veil open a little bit.
Well, remember when I brought Al Power BM through last time? You said every time that happens, it helps you build your light body.
Yes, absolutely.
And building your light body is what is going to help you see through it. And
we're getting light codes with these downloads, it's like
definitely.
Every time the solar flare hits, it's like we get a download from it. And
I know you'll feel it for days.
My ears have been ringing like crazy. Every time I'm like, I hear this in my left ear or my right ear, and it's been very loud the last few days.
Yeah, I got some huge downloads actually the last couple of weeks with new healing abilities and stuff too, which is pretty cool. I've been trying them out.
Really?
Yeah.
Do tell.
Well, okay. So one of the ways that I think and teach is because I teach psychic healing and I teach channeling, healing, and messages, is that how to do anything. So with my technique, what I'm teaching is how to do anything, how to figure out anything, how to bring forth any being, how to trance anything of high vibrational, how to tell the difference and all that stuff too. But, so that you can do anything. And that way, no matter what you're supposed to be doing or no matter what your modality, your true modality is that you came to this life with, you can use it in that way. So one of the things I was thinking was, well, if I can just say, because I learned to sort of shorten. So I used to go through all this thing with the clearing. I used to do a lot of deep clearing of people and places and things. And now I mostly teach it. And most of what I do is up level people, though I do clear them too. So when I got this message, you go through this whole thing like I would go through. Like, okay, first we go into the auric field, we remove all psychic implants, we take out any entities, you go through each little part, clear any, alternate lives that are in the way, like other yous. And then we go through all the chakras. Like I would do like this litany every single time. And then I was like, do I still need to do that? I've been doing that, daily on people for years. Could I just bypass it? So I tried bypassing it. I was like, maybe I just say, since my spirit guides know what I'm doing, I just say, hey, do the thing I always do. So I did it. And then I checked and it was like, it was okay. The thing is, this was the first time. The thing is, when you have something that needs to be cleared, you always have to find out why. And your spirit guides aren't going to clear it that easy. Like if you're in a group healing and you have a really nasty entity, it's not going to go away unless you truly understand like where the hole is in your protection or what's really happening so that you
Yes.
can
They're trying to train
clear.
us. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Trying to
So
teach us.
yeah, it's all about teaching you. So I did that and it was okay. I still found things and I was like, well, maybe they needed to know. But then I had this like massive level where I was like totally on the couch for like 2 days, like, okay. And then, and now it's working. It's like maybe in the action of trying to see if I could do it, they were like, oh, you want that? Sure. So then I cleared someone and I did it in like 1 minute. They're all their chakras in their auric field. And I looked and I couldn't find anything. I mean, of course, that's just the beginning of my session, but so I just did the up levels and the channels and all that stuff, but it seemed to work. Now she's a light worker, the person I tried it on. So perhaps she's already pretty clear. But most of my clients are, more clear than not clear. So anyway, it's working. So I'm still working on it. And then the other thing I got was so my whole purpose in life, I have my light path is to help other people learn to channel, help people step on their light path, like what they're supposed to do in this life. And not just that, but I want and feel that it's also to help them have a full-time business. And I'm not a business coach at all. I want to give people all the skills and clear any blocks in the way and things like that. And I was always thinking that when my business got to a certain level, it'd be very easy, right? You can just do like what Tim Weil does, just bring one person on for a while, tell everyone knows who they are, and then you bring one other person on for a while, just do stuff like that. Like I do have practitioners on my site and things like that. So that was my idea. But then I got, what if you could do it the other way? Instead of boosting your career so you can boost other people, if you could boost them more than you're already doing. I mean, I do like I do a lot of stuff for my clients. I put their videos up and I recommend them and I put them all over my website, stuff like that. But if I could boost them, then it would boost me. And I was like, well, okay, I just want to boost. I mean,
We
obviously
lift each other, we lift ourselves by lifting each other. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I want to boost my business because that would make my life easier and I could do more books and stuff like that. But I really want to help other people. So I was like, okay. So then I learned how to give them like a psychic boost for their business. And so that I'm trying that. So those are the 2 up levels I got this year so far. So it's what, the 16th? I don't know. This year's going to be crazy, I think, with energy for everybody.
It's going to be insane. It feels like we've had 2 months worth of activity in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. It does. And I keep thinking, oh, it must be February.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Because, I mean, the days don't feel 24 hours anymore. They feel so much shorter. And every time I try to catch up on stuff, I realize like hours have gone by in what feels like 10 minutes sometimes. And it's just time is getting much more fluid than it used to be, it feels like.
Yeah. And I think too, it's because you are coming up and down out of that 5D, 6D, coming back, going back and forth. When you're doing that, then it does really mess with time because 5D has no time. So it will make things really wonky.
Well, nothing has time, technically. Time doesn't exist, if you think about it. It's just that we have this illusion of time as we're passing, through these different realities. This is what Bashar, anyway, explained, is that, we're constantly jumping from parallel reality to parallel reality. And if we weren't doing that, we wouldn't even be having the illusion of time passing. That's what makes it time pass. Otherwise, we'd be frozen in time and space if it wasn't doing that.
Interesting, really?
Yeah, that's what Bashar said. If we weren't jumping from parallel reality to parallel reality every moment from every day, time would not be passing at all.
Wow. Well,
the illusion of it anyway.
I mean, I see us jumping timelines and things like that. That's part of some of the things I teach in my psychic Reiki.
Oh, you little bastard. Sorry, 1 second. Block.
Hi, Mindy.
I was enjoying the conversation so much. I had to. No, we got a spammer. I got him, Michelle. Thank you. You're quick.
Do you see this? I was assisting a birth last night. Baby stuck for an hour. At the moment baby burst out, a house exploded in a nearby town from a gas leak at the same time. That's
Are
interesting.
you serious?
That's what it says in the
Whoa.
comments from Jenny Gall.
I missed that one because of the damn spammer. Oh, yep, now I see it. That's really fascinating.
The spammer's name is Mary Shelley. Isn't that the name of Frankenstein's author?
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
Chantel says, am I correct in my understanding that if you can read in a dream, it's not a dream? Yeah, most of your dreams are not dreams. They are alternate reality. You know, where you go in that alternate reality and you're like, ex-boyfriend's your husband. And you're like, oh my God, how do I get out of here? And you have like 6 kids.
Yeah, that you're visiting another version of yourself to make you feel better about this reality.
Right? Can the future also
it really
be
messes with people though, especially but because of the hypnosis, a lot of people expect to go into past lives, but it does happen on occasion where they go into a parallel life instead.
Yeah.
And one of my favorites was at Suzanne Spooner's session where she was basically talking to this guy, and he goes into his past life and he sees a flat screen TV in front of him, and she's like, "What? How do you? That's not a past life. Like what?" And sure enough, she actually followed it back to where the splitting point was. It was his college decision, which college he was going to go to, caused a split in like this temporal whatever.
Oh yeah.
So in one reality, he had gone to a different college completely. He had different wife that he met at this college, different career, different kids.
That's crazy. Yeah, every decision we make. That's why a psychic cannot tell you your future. We can tell you like, you know, on 80% timelines are most likely with what you're doing now and how you're thinking and how you're acting. You know, I mean, anytime you get any kind of future information, it should come with, if you want this, you need to do this. Like, if this is something you're wanting, then you should do this. Yeah, because, you know, could change.
Someone just asked, can the future also be an alternate reality then? Yes, absolutely.
Sure. There's so many futures.
Yeah.
So many.
There's infinite parallel realities out there. Infinite. There are some realities where you probably died as an infant. There are realities where you lived to be over 100. There are realities that are so similar that the only difference might be what you're wearing that day. And another reality that would be so different, even at the same kind of junction, that you wouldn't even recognize yourself if you were to have a glimpse of that other reality, because you'd be so vastly different. So you tuned into other realities of me, wasn't it, the other day? Other Laras you were doing?
I cleared the other Laras. Yeah.
Yes.
You have to clear these. So cool. That's what I was going to say. All these different parallel lives, they all go to one. As we go to ascension is what they're saying. It goes to one. And that is why ascension is assured. And the thing is, so sometimes these close, like the realities end, and then you have these other yous kind of hanging out, and it's good to bring them through, clear them and bring them through. I teach that in my psychic Reiki too. Psychic Reiki, I mean, also master teacher, which is this weekend.
So it makes you wonder, like, if another version of yourself is going through a hard time, if you can actually like send them love and healing to your own self.
That's a good thing about Reiki, like distance. You can send it to the past, to the future, to different realities. You could do a whole session for yourself for one day when you need it, put it in the ethers and call on it one day when you are desperate for it.
Sonia asked, could there be a reality that I've lived this reality already? Absolutely. A lot of people don't know this. This is something that we learned. You actually end up, it's easier to relive the same life over again than it is to plan a whole new one.
Oh, I bet. So you just do it again and make different choices?
Exactly, yeah. You can just be like, all right, reset, and then just end up getting born again into the same body, in the same situation, the same everything. But you can choose to make little tweaks the next time around. Like, well, I really wanted to see how it would have happened differently this time. So this time I'm going to make a slightly different decision. And your soul guides will know that. So they will guide you down a slightly different path.
This sounds very much like how everything is. Maybe that's all we're doing. Sometimes, do you guys ever just feel like, here we are? Do you ever just feel like this, every single person that I know is just like, it's a truly a matrix. This is just like a video game where like none of these people are real. They're just reflecting onto me so that I learn something. I mean, that is true, but
Yeah.
I feel that they are real. But I mean, it's like sometimes I'm like, what if it's just me and everyone else is fake?
Well, that's the kind of conundrum that we're in, is that we do exist in a, subjective holographic reality where we are the center of our own experience. And a lot of people are like, well, you think that your whole universe revolves around you, don't you? And it's like, well,
That's
actually,
that's what always comes into my mind. I'm like, but I mean, that feels like that I think the whole universe revolves around me.
what it is people don't really understand the whole holographic nature thing. It's like you're tuning yourself into a video game, basically. It is a video game. It's the best analogy you can really get, because you are a single person's perspective within a hologram, within an energetic realm where nothing is actually solid. It's the illusion of solidity through how fast these molecules are spinning. So really, it's just, this is why, you keep trying to break things down smaller and smaller and smaller, and all you find is light. Right. Because we are quite literally, everything in existence is just light. It's just that,
and that's why the more light we build, the higher we can go into dimensional reality.
Exactly. Absolutely. And there's a lot of people that will tune into these alternate realities as well. And that's kind of what deja vu is, where you are like, I've been here before. I remember, something about this seems so familiar. That's what deja vu is. You were tapping into another version of something that you've already experienced.
I've always thought. Yeah. Or, well, actually, when I was little, and I was really psychic when I was little, but I got so much flack for it, I kind of turned it off, or I didn't talk about it. But I got deja vu all the time, and I always believed that it was because I was living the same life over and over. So it's interesting that she just said that. I had forgotten that I used to believe that when I was little.
Yeah. And it's funny, what else is pretty messed up? When you choose to do that, when you choose to relive the same life over again, you don't go to the healing place. You skip it.
Well, let's not do that.
Yeah. This information comes from not only Dolores Cannon, but also from the Tegetans, because Svaru, who we've been talking about quite a lot, she lived the same life 10 times in a row, over and over and over and over again. And she didn't go to the healing place. So by the 11th incarnation, she had all of this baggage and trauma and shit that she didn't get rid of because she didn't go and clear it when she was at the healing place like you're supposed to. And yesterday we were talking about this because a lot of people are coming in with ancestral karma and a lot of baggage and even past life energetic resonances. So they'll be like a sword in your back. Right. And you're like, what the hell? We found a guy with an axe in his back yesterday.
Yeah, we have all that. We have to release it, the past life stuff. Mostly you have to release the emotion that is messing with your discernment. You know what I mean? Like, what happened in this life that makes you feel, well, you don't have to know what happened. You just have to know the emotion to clear it. And I see things like that, swords, snakes, things like that in people.
Yeah. One lady had an arrow in her butt and was giving her sciatica.
Yeah, I pulled an arrow out of someone's
the other day that we met we did a clearing on somebody that was a matador in a past life.
I've seen that.
So she literally got a horn up the butt in a past life.
Oh, wait, I'm not matador.
A matador, like the bull.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about that mythical creature that's half bull, half person.
Yeah. Oh, a
mentor. Yes, Minotaur. That's what I was thinking.
Yes. So can you imagine? Like, and
ouch.
Makes you wonder how
that horn. Exactly. You literally have a horn up your ass.
Exactly. And it's still there. And you're like, I mean, I must admit, we laughed when we saw that. We're like, what the hell are people bringing with them into this life? Like, that's crazy.
Well, I really think that we are supposed to release and do ancestral healing and clearing for our ancestral line. That we're all here to do that. It really, I teach that too.
You wonder why we don't do it in the in-between, though. Like, you can choose to go to the healing place. Like, you could say to your guides tonight, please take me to the healing place tonight.
Well,
and your guides will take you there. So why wouldn't you go and be in the in-between, And why wouldn't all these things be cleared?
Okay, so You could go in the in-between and clear it for yourself, but you couldn't go in the in-between and clear it for your sister and your mom and your kids and your nephews. So when you do the ancestral clear, like if you have, sometimes we take this like, okay, I'm going to go through this and I'm going to clear it for everyone. You can help more than yourself. That's why.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we've
it's
been
more about you.
we've been doing these SRT clearings, and we added ancestral karma to the mix, and
Mm-hmm.
we've gotten a hit on it every single time since we added it to the protocol. Every
Yeah.
single time we asked, are they carrying ancestral karma? And it says yes. And then we ask if we can clear it, and it lets us.
Yeah.
And we're like,
yeah. And
okay, so what the hell? Why didn't it just clear on its own?
That's funny. I just made a video for that for one of my Reiki courses because I'm always updating them, and feels like it's something that's very in the ethers. Like we are all kind of thinking about that. And the interesting thing is when I went to, this is cool. So I went to clear. So I'm making a video for my students, and I was showing them how to do it. So I tried to clear my own, but I had already cleared it years ago. Like I tried to clear it for sexual abuse, it was cleared. Then I tried to clear it for abundance, it was clear. I tried to clear. And so I had to be like, what else can I clear for that? And I got this really interesting thing. Like it was like self-love basically needed, the opposite of self-love. So
that's a big one.
So I went to clear it. And usually when you clear this, you don't have to be like, and my brother's wife and my, you don't have to do all the extra people. So it's just kind of like for everyone. But I kept getting that I wasn't done and there was something else. And it was actually my sister has a different dad. And there was some huge thing there that I had to clear that was affecting everyone, even though she was the only one, who had a different dad. And I had to clear it. Yeah. And they were kind of saying something like, since she doesn't claim that dad or that dad, that we claim her so completely as part of our family, that we just had to clear that. So I don't know. It was really interesting.
Other people's ancestral karma can mess with us too?
I never knew that before this. Yeah. I guess so. In some ways, because my sister doesn't know her dad. Oh, he's kind of an asshole. So, we had to
tangled web we weave with other people, especially. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, there's other step like in my family, and I didn't have to clear any of their like my, that was just like included or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Becoming conscious to the karmic agreement that was signed is key to clearing ancestral karma. Sometimes there's so many types of vows of suffering in the ancestral line that takes multiple times to clear. But healing ourselves and getting to the root cause helps heal all the ancestral lines. Thank you for sharing that, Jody. Beautifully said.
Yeah, you need to get to the root of everything to truly clear it. Like even if you're being psychically attacked, if you have, if you're getting, if you're getting all these attachments and things like that, then you're getting them for a reason, and you have to find out why. And the person who clears you needs to find out why for you. And that's, yeah, I teach that as well. I teach all the things that I can.
Steph was asking, I have a question. Do our guides always tell us the truth?
So your guides can't always tell you everything. But mine usually say we can't
plead
tell
the fifth than lie. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
They'd rather be like, we can't tell you shit rather than lie. Although I do think that sometimes they'll be like, you're fine, go ahead. And then you go to it and you're like, everything went to shit. And you're like, why did you tell me to do that? And they're like, well, you needed to learn. So
my husband yesterday, right. I asked, I said, can my husband drive home? Will he be okay? And they were like, yeah, it'd be fine. So he started to drive home in the snowstorm.
He will be fine, but you just won't see him for a few days.
And he got stuck, on a hill, and like highway patrol towed him back to his friend's house and was like, stay off the road. And I was like, why did you tell me that? And they were like,
be able to drive home safe, but you didn't ask when. That's the thing. It's like...
that is the other thing. I was asking for 8 a.m, and he didn't leave till 12, which was part of it. But I think also they wanted that so to be like, when he can't go to work, he'll be like, well, I tried. I got towed back. You know what I mean? It's different than, roads are closed.
They just tell you what you want to hear sometimes. I feel like soul guides and tarot cards are very similar in the fact that they will give you the harsh truth, even if you don't want to hear it sometimes. It's just that I feel sometimes we're not receptive to it, and they're trying to
Sometimes
tell us something.
translate it in the way that we want. And that's what makes like a pendulum use hard. You have to learn how to use the pendulum in a way where you don't influence it. And for some things, you have to know that you'll always influence it. You know, if you really want one answer, you're going to have to trade with another medium or have an insight from another medium to give you, who's not invested in your life, to give you that answer sometimes. And sometimes you can do it. There's other techniques. It's just, that's sometimes hard to do that.
Yeah, it is. And there's a lot of very, relationships seem to be getting more complicated right now as we get closer to the shift too, because it's like we're trying to work out all of this karmic baggage that we've got, not just ancestral, but between other people that are in our lives. It's like everything is kind of coming to a head right now, so we can work it out and move forward through it.
Yeah.
And it's a painful time for a lot of people.
It is. If you want to go to 5D, you're going to have to like release things. And if you're still not seeing where you need to release it, then something big's going to happen to force you to see where it is that you need to release things, or force you to see some sort of false belief you're carrying, or some vow you need to renounce, or, things like that.
Vows are a big one too, because we don't realize that for the vow of suffering that, for example, Jody mentioned a minute ago, that is a huge one that we've noticed on a lot of people, because
we all have these
this
vows.
guilt. Yeah, there's this guilt that people are carrying from stuff that happened. It could have been 2,000 years ago, and they're still carrying it on, just weighing it on their shoulders.
You have to release vows and agreements. Yeah, that's a big thing to release. Yeah.
I wonder, if this is going to be easier after 5 years, or if this is just something that is going to be the new norm. You know what I mean? When we're just finally realizing we're going through and dealing with our inner turmoil on a more.
I actually talked about this week on my podcast, which is 5D Channels and Chats. Yeah, this week I talked about 10 different clairs, psychic clairs, and I asked what they would be in the future. And it's like, what's the difference? Like, what's the difference between where our clairs are now and what our clairs are in the 5D? And some of the things are that, I didn't do them all. There's so many. But basically, our basic clairs that we can open now, like clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, which we can all open them, or we all have them open probably, and you don't even realize it, which is what I talked about last week. But in the 5D, they turn into something else. And it changes. And in there, you can work on even more things. So it's kind of like you'll have a basic set of psychic clairs, and you'll be working on some other things as well. So that's kind of cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder too how the telepathy is going to evolve too, because
telepathy is already evolving, and you can have telepathy now.
It's getting crazy. People are yeah. You think of somebody and you're like, I need to call them, and then you look at your phone and they're already calling you, and you're like, what the
That's
fuck?
Literally what they said, how it works now. Yeah, telepathy works. We started working with telepathy in my monthly group like a few years ago. And I remember the first time they mentioned it, I was like, I don't know. They said they're going to open it for us for the future. So we did that. And then another time, again, they were like, let's work on telepathy again. The Syrians did. The first opened it with, I think, goddesses of light, these goddesses that came in. So then we worked with the Syrians, and they really opened it. And then it started working. And then we worked with them again. So we work on clairs, and telepathy seems to be working. So that's cool. That was one where I was like, I don't know about this one.
And I'm starting to realize, there are more mediums than ever before.
Well, we're all channels. That's what we are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We're just been gaslighted. Remember you wanted to talk about that? We were gaslighted. Yeah. They're like, absolutely. Oh, she has such an active imagination. Honey, unicorns aren't real.
I had tons of imaginary friends as a kid. And I don't even remember who they were, but I remember talking to things that people were like, oh, she's just talking to herself, that weird girl.
Guys. And I remember oh, Rachel's talking to ghosts now. Ooh, oh gosh, my brother teased me so bad, because because I saw a ghost, and I told them, like, there was this guy standing in my room, and it freaked me out. And that's when I turned it off, when I got teased so bad. But I opened it back up.
I turned mine off when I got the shit scared out of me. I was messing with an Ouija board, bringing things into the house, and then I remember being a little kid begging to turn it off because I didn't want to see. And now I'm an adult, and I'm like, turn it back on.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm ready now.
Hold on just a second.
Yeah, no worries. There's always something, when it comes to these possibilities. Yes, of course, Brooke, please do.
Yes, you can upgrade your guides. Yes, Sonalia. You should upgrade your guides whenever you are going through something, or you're changing. You can upgrade your guides, and you should. You have childhood guides, so that's what I was thinking, Lara. Who you were talking to were your childhood spirit guides. So that's one of the first things I do in my trance channel mediumship is upgrade that.
I think one of them was Fae, because I'm sure. I don't know why, but I was convinced the fairies were real as a kid. Like, you could not convince me that they were not. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, my husband, who is not like very, he's whatever. He's like, all right, if you think so, we talk about stuff. But he saw and talked to fairies when he was little.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, they are real. I see them and talk to them now,
100%.
and I connect people to them. That's what, I have a deck. I have my oracle deck.
Ooh,
elemental magic and manifestation. Thank you.
Oh, well, now that you got it out, you're gonna have to pull a card for the collective. You don't
okay,
mind?
No, not at all. I made these cards to help you connect to the Fae, and I have a little booklet in it that talks about the different Fae. There's 37 in here.
Oh, that's right. This is your deck, isn't it?
It's my deck, yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Rachel
this is
has
one
her
way.
own deck, you guys. Isn't that cool?
You can buy it on Amazon in the US or on my website, Soundwaves Heal.
Did you give me that link, actually? Was it on there?
Yeah, I gave you a link. This is trust your intuition. So some of our elementals we can see, and we think of them
all
like
Rachel's goodies here. I'm just going to share them all. There we go.
We think of them like animals, but narwhals and a lot of polar beings are from Polaris, and narwhals are one of them. So this is trust your intuition, Whirly the narwhal. So when this is a really good card for the group, because it's just about like your guides are always trying to talk to you. And are you listening? Are you accepting it? Or are you like, oh, that's my imagination, which we do, because that's part of how we're gaslit as kids. And we have to really realize that they are talking to us, and we have to believe them. And then, if you can channel Whirly, all the beings in this deck have come in to be channeled. So you can channel all these guys. If you're a channel, if you want to learn to be a channel, I teach it. So dolphins are, of course. Here's my favorite, the fairy mermaid.
Love the dolphins. Oh, that's beautiful.
Fairy mermaids. I had a really great artist. These are really fun. Yep. Elves. Got all kind of fun stuff. I'm going to use these cards in the mediumship circle to help people.
Oh, yes, that's right. We can tell people the good news, by the way, because we've actually been in the works trying to come up with a divinate mediumship circle. And rather than just having one medium run it every weekend, we're going to have guest teachers coming through, different mediums coming through to help us learn different tricks and how to protect ourselves, how to expand our consciousness and embrace our gifts and that sort of thing. So on the 28th, the 28th is our first one. Mm-hmm. And Rachel will be our first guest teacher, and it's going to be such an excitement. I am really, really looking forward to it, because, you are really one of the most skilled mediums I've come across yet. You've been doing this for so long, and you've been...
Actually, I haven't been doing this for that long. I've been doing it for about 6 years, yeah. Yeah, it was when I first learned... I took spiritual classes for 20 years, and I thought I was a little bit psychic, but I didn't know I was a medium. I found out, and I started taking courses, and I fell into a trance channel course. And then from there, my guides helped me build all the courses that I teach now. So I teach now like full trance channel mediumship. 4 levels. I teach like a really intensive 9-month class that has 3 of those levels plus my psychic healing, light language, teaching you how to really channel all healing and messages from light beings, talk to any light being, bring in any light being, that kind of stuff. So that's
wonderful.
what I do. Yeah. So when I learned really fast. And so that's what, that's kind of how I teach it. It's intensive. It's like every weekend, 2 hours, we really work on it. And it comes with all kinds of up-leveling stuff. And I clear everybody. I teach all levels of protection because it's so important for you to learn how to protect yourself as you're building this kind of light. So people get nervous about being a medium because they think, well, if I'm this bright light, I'm going to get attacked. But the truth is, you just have to learn the high levels of protection. And so I teach them all, and eventually you won't need it. But I do believe there's a time where
everybody gets attacked. That's the thing. We all get attacked. It doesn't really matter whether they're a medium or a normal person. You're going to deal with this psychic stuff regardless. It's just
that so do you want to do it with skills?
It. Yeah.
Or do you want to just be like, crap, I need another session?
Yeah, exactly. And that's my attitude too, is I don't want to have to call somebody in an emergency every time I feel like I'm dealing with a psychic attack. Learning how to clear myself was a really big thing. But also, even if you know how to clear yourself, you still need to know how to identify when you need the clearing. When you need to be able to spot when something's wrong. If you can just get the clearing
when you need it, then you can probably prevent it most of the time. So, I have a couple of articles on that in my blog post on my website, Soundwaves Heal. It's like when you start to feel like you're not yourself, or you're saying things, you observe yourself saying things that sound really like victim consciousness, or, really low vibe, or you just don't feel good, like you just can't shake it. And it's not just shadow work. Well, then you probably need a clearing. And when it comes to shadow work, I also teach it's free on my blog page, how to work with your shadow work. So you just work on it, because you're always going to have it, but still have a beautiful life. Like you take a few minutes and you work on it, and then you release it and go on, so that it's not bringing you down so much that you're getting attacked.
Yes, absolutely.
Because, and your shadow work doesn't have to be like weeks of pain.
No, it doesn't. But we make it take longer because we get stubborn about it, and we drag our feet. It is a messy business, going through your shadows and taking out your closets and going through all of the things that you kind of buried down there. It gets ugly where you're basically trying to, clean out all of this stuff that you don't even want to look at because it's so painful.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cody says, I was under psychic attack real quick and became an open portal at first because I was so enthusiastic. I learned energetic boundaries and Archangel Michael's protective bubble real quick. Now they have to make an appointment.
That's right. Nice. I teach that in my spirit guide class. You can set your boundaries with spirit, and they will have to listen. So it's really up to you. If you see a medium talking about something like, oh, these spirits walking through my house, and it's because they don't have spiritual boundaries, or because they like the drama. And sometimes people do. They like this interesting stuff, like this dead person sitting on my couch. They like that stuff. It's interesting, and maybe they're supposed to experience it that way and write a cool, interesting book about it. But for most people, you don't want that kind of stuff. You just set boundaries.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to share some links for your stuff. People are asking for it. And for some reason, it says open a new tab on every single link. Look at this. Is crazy.
I know.
No, it's okay. For some reason, StreamYard does that. It's so annoying.
Yes, you can purchase my courses. I teach my psychic Reiki healing. I teach Reiki 1 and Reiki 2 by video courses. And then you can get an in-person attunement on Zoom or in Knoxville. And Master teachers half and half. I'm actually teaching it this weekend. If you're Reiki 2 certified, you're eligible. And I'm teaching that on Sunday, and it's half video, half in person. I teach how to remove all spirit activity, close portals, clear spaces and people, clear houses, clear psychic implants, timelines, ancestral healing, clearing, stuff like that. And then I teach a full channeling course. Yeah.
I'm just gonna delete this. Why is it doing that? It's
Is it
so
still doing
weird.
open and new? I'm still following.
It's doing it every time I copy it. I don't even know what the hell's going on here. It's so weird.
Well, next time I'll send it to you on Facebook. You can copy it from there.
I'm actually gonna send it to you on Facebook right now, and then I'll copy it again. See if it works that way. Because this is really weird. It's got all kinds of funny things in there that don't belong.
Oh, thanks, Ray. Yeah, I teach my liquid Reiki shamanic sound healing. It's I have a big 9-month course that gives 5 certifications, including dimensional channel and psychic Reiki healing and light language, advanced light language. I can't even think of all the things right now. Trance channel mediumship, master. It helps you become a master of all these things so that you can bring your own healing through as well. So that you can bring in any kind of being, so that you can get any answer that you want, But I think that's important. And you can talk to any highlight being. That's the coolest thing. That's what I want. I always want to ask them questions, and I need to know about this, so I'll call them in and ask them.
Someone was asking about light language a minute ago. You sing in light language, don't you?
Yeah, so I call mine liquid Reiki shamanic sound healing. It is a mixture of light language, psychic Reiki, and channeling. That's what I do. But I do teach light language and advanced light language. I give certifications in both. They're in my channeling program, or you can buy them one-off on my website.
Oh, yeah. I'm hoping that's good enough. Let me know if that works for you guys. I have it all up there now.
That's my.
We need to get you on Linktree, girl.
Yeah, my podcast. Go. Oh, I have a Linktree. Would that have been easier?
Yeah. There we go.
I'm at Sound Waves Heal everywhere. And in fact, I beg you guys to follow me on TikTok because I just joined. I think I have 9 people following me. Help me out. I'm at Sound Waves Heal.
TikTok. I'm gonna follow you right now on TikTok.
Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Instagram.
Sound Waves Heal.
Sound Waves Heal with an S everywhere. Soundwavesheal.com, Sound Waves Heal, YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, and now TikTok. I'm a little old to be on TikTok. But I am, and I post channels of myself and my students. You gotta change
with the time.
Yeah, I post my students a lot too for my course of them channeling different beings. So
you got 12 followers. We're gonna fix that right now.
Oh, look, I got 3 more. I'm up to 13 now.
Yeah. I
had 9.
I'm your 13th follower. That's my lucky number. Perfect.
YouTube is the place where you're going to get most of my stuff. And this is on my YouTube right now. And I even do, I'll read from my cards on Thursday mornings at 11 Eastern.
Cool.
Give people card readings from there. Yeah. So you can get to know my cards. It's always fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, I'm just wondering, if maybe we could talk about elementals a little bit because we love them so much. I love elementals. They're one of my favorite topics. And
that's going to be my first
obsession with jellyfish for someone. Do you think jellyfish are elementals?
I really want to talk about this. I was just about to tell you, I'm going to talk. That's going to be my first class in Divinate after the.
Really?
Is about Fae and elementals. Yeah. I'm going to teach about that.
Yay! How exciting.
And in fact, that's what I'm going to do. We're going to talk a little bit about it in the mediumship course too. So, because I started my whole career with Fae. Fae are wonderful beings and elementals to bring through, to kind of start to channel. They're really helpful. So, yeah, I think that, let me ask. I don't know about jellyfish. I've been seeing them a lot lately.
I think you that told me seahorses are, right? The seahorses are a type of elemental. Mm-hmm. So I imagine seahorses are, then jellyfish must be, because they
jellyfish are like, I think they're galactic. There might be galactic elementals. Yeah.
That's true. You could be an elemental from another planet.
Yeah, like I've seen these galactic fairies. Like I've seen fairies from Andromeda, from
what?
From
what does a galactic fairy look like?
Well, Pleiades fairies are really cool. They're like our size. Like I'm 5'6", and I met one, and I was like, "Why are you so big?" And she was like, "Oh, well, we're big." And the Pleiades. So there's probably more than one type of fairy from there, but
Don't tell me
And
that. I want to go back to the Pleiades already.
oh, I wish I could
Wow.
show you this cool picture of this jellyfish that someone caught on camera in my group, because we post
Somebody
like
was talking the other
cool
day.
shit
It
we
was
saw.
Faru. That's right. There was a video on Cosmic Agency about Saturn and how Saturn is a gaseous planet. And they asked what kind of beings live there. And they
Higher
explained
dimensional.
it's kind of these jellyfish beings because,
Oh,
and they
do you
float
think
in
so?
the atmosphere because they can't go too high or they start to get pulled apart. And they can't go too low, otherwise it's too dense for them. And they end up, falling and sinking and dying in that way. So
Can you
there's
see
this.
this one that this woman saw in her living room, took a
Yeah.
picture of?
Are you
She took a
serious?
picture. Yeah. And this is like a jellyfish. Here's another one.
I saw somebody that had an octopus attached to them. So it makes
No,
wow. So
those are
those are
spiritual
different though.
parasites.
Those are
The
parasites. Those
octopus
are
and
not
squids are gross. Yeah, and then they leave residue that you have to clear too. So they give you a real bad headache. Isn't this
really.
neat though? These are
Yeah, that's
elemental
beautiful.
galactics. Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? Those are my group. We
Interesting.
like to post fae
Yeah,
activity.
one of my friends is a medium, and one day she actually pulled one of those octopus things out of her, and it really
Oh,
freaked her out
I
so
see those all the
badly.
time. They're very prevalent. They stick to you right
Really.
around here usually, and they give you the worst headache. And
There
then you
was
have to
one that was
clear it.
giving this woman because she couldn't breathe and she had horrible headaches, and she had one like stuck to her face like a face sucker.
If you have headaches and you don't know why, it's usually attachments. Yeah.
Wow. I had such bad headaches as a teen too when I was going through all that Ouija board business. I had the
Oh,
worst
well, Ouija boards
headaches.
will fuck you up, man. You should
Oh
burn it.
yeah, it really messed
Anyone
me up
here
bad. And
who has a Ouija board and you haven't burned that or closed the portals or had someone help you fix that, you need to do it right away.
I had a medium on here a couple months ago. She's a really lovely person. But she doesn't really have boundaries with the spirits. She lets them come and go from her house as they please. And she's got like 20 Ouija boards in her house. And I was like, oh honey,
I
like
once
I
talked.
respect what you do, but holy shit, that would scare the crap out of me. I would not want to have 20 Ouija
Hell
boards in
no.
my house. I would and also discarnate spirits too, where they basically haven't crossed over, but they're not ready yet, so she doesn't force them
F
over. She's like,
that.
I won't force them to leave. And it's like, yeah,
Get the
exactly.
hell out of my
that.
house. Did I ever tell you about
But
the
you don't
ghost hunters
realize
I
that
met?
they're like the what one?
The ghost hunters I met? Did I tell you that story?
No.
These people called me up and they were like local and they were like, hey, they called me up for Halloween. Was a Saturday night. They wanted to go to this horribly haunted place at Halloween at midnight. And they wanted me to go with them and show them. And I was like, I'm just curious, what kind of protection do you use? Are you Reiki attuned? And they were like, no, we're fine. I was like, your auric field is just gross. And I wouldn't go anywhere near that place on the brightest, like most beautiful day in the world. With the thickest veil. Like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go in there. You like feeling like shit all the time? You like feeling suicidal? What are you doing to yourself? And they got
They
mad at
don't
me.
know this though. They don't realize that they can attach to
Okay.
you. They think that, oh, I just see it and it goes away. They don't know
They're
that
like,
that thing
oh,
can
we're
follow them
fine.
home and attach to them and put thoughts in their head and all kinds of
I
stuff.
know. I was like, you're fine, except for that fentanyl habit you suddenly picked up. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Starseeds
people think of-
Wisdom says, Rachel, can I take any class I want with you? Or are there any prerequisites?
For my intensive course, you have to qualify. There are prerequisites, but no, I always recommend if people want to start with psychic healing, learn how to, do things like remove entities and how to use divination to do with your Reiki to do that, how to clear spirits' houses, all that stuff. To start with Psychic Reiki Healing 1, you can take that. There's no prerequisite. There's no prerequisite for light language, advanced light language. Of course, you have to take it light language first. And there's no prerequisite at all for my monthly group where we work on our clairs every month, and there's a mystery school. All my courses I put in there that that aren't Reiki or high channeling, but we do some like little stuff in there. And we have, well, not little, it's like 1,000 videos. And I add them all the time. It's for beginners to open your clairs and learn all the mystery school stuff, and for advanced to connect more with all kinds of beings. We connect to beings every month in Tag Lightworkers. and we're healed by them. So it's a great thing for advanced client light workers and great for beginners because you can catch up. So it started off as a beginners program. So I have all the beginners classes in there, and people caught up and got advanced so fast it became an advanced program. Yes, you can't take pain medication to do my channeling course. That's one of the things. Yeah. And you have to be Reiki attuned, and you have to have a few other things too, but you don't have to be advanced. It does start at beginner level trance. Yeah. But I mean, people think of me as an advanced teacher that I teach the teachers, I teach advanced light workers, but if you meet certain requirements, then you might, if you're a beginner, you can still take the course. We start at the beginning, and I give you like all kinds of things to catch up. Yeah. Well, if you're
a spiritual beginner,
yeah, as long as you can trance channel any being that you know, and you can do all that stuff, then you don't need my class. If you want to learn to trance channel all kinds of beings and bring through their healing, if you can't do that, then take my class. It goes to master level. It's all beginner to master, but you have to be a little bit more than a beginner to start.
Yeah. For the people who are beginners, I think one of the best things you could do is start with Reiki. Learning Reiki, cards, and pendulums are the three best, I think, for starting. Yep. Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a psychic Reiki healing. It's my own course. It's a Sui Reiki, and I add in all of my psychic healing into it. So, and I make videos. So like if you forget, and like printouts, it's like the ADHD proof course. So like if you forget anything, I'm not going to just talk to you for 10 hours and then you have to remember it. You get a manual, you get a book, you get videos, you get like all the things. And then if you're like, how do I Reiki my cat? Then you can go onto the portal and like look it up, print out your little chakra chart, or like, how do I do the timeline healing? Like if you're in Reiki master teacher, you can go back.
Can you actually Google things like that, like cat chakras? I'm actually going to Google that. I want to see the chakras.
You can. Actually, the animal chakras I found on the internet. I found several different ones in there. I mean, I do teach people animal communication in the group, but mainly, in the program.
The chakras of a cat. Look at that. That's so cool. I'm trying to find the picture. Here we go.
But I feel that animal communication is something you can, depends how much you got to really practice that or be really talented in that. But I do teach it basic. Some people are better than others.
That's a good example. See, look at the kitty chakra.
Yeah. And then they have some other ones too. They have some minor chakras that you have to look at too.
That is so cool.
Just sweet cutest cat. And you also have to know how to Reiki a cat. Say,
I knew some Americans, like all animals have chakras. I think everything alive has chakras. I wonder if trees, if the Gaia has chakras, if you think about it. Is it Mount Shasta? Is that the crown chakra of the world? I think it is.
Oh, yeah. I can't keep all those straight. Oh, my gosh, Brooke, you should absolutely. Yeah. You have to look that up. Come back, Laura. Uh-oh. Did we lose her? She'll be back. We'll StreamYard to help you get back in. Yeah, they all have chakras. And I think plants do too. Let's see what happens with Laura. Oh my gosh, we lost her. She'll be back. Yeah, Mount Shasta is where all the Lemurians are. Yeah, I'm going to wait for her to come back. Don't worry. Now that I have you captive. No. I had a plant awaken and it was wild. That's really cool. Yeah, water has chakras. That's cool. I trans-channeled water recently from my, it was part of my group and my Tag Lightworkers group, and it was pretty cool, like the element of water. There she is.
What the hell?
You're back.
My power went down.
Oh.
That was really weird. Everything went off and that made my Wi-Fi go off.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're back. Oh, Bree's asking about Atlantis. I love Atlantis. I have an Atlantis retreat coming up in Crete in Greece in May. And Nadine, you would probably qualify. If you guys want to know if you qualify, just PM me, Rachel Chamness, or Soundwaves Heal on Facebook, or go to my website and fill out. You can even fill out an application form for the big course. It starts soon. But for Atlantis, we're going to Crete. It's going to be cool. I love Atlantis. We have done Atlantis many, many times in my group. And for me, whenever I go to Atlantis, there's also the Atlantis Avalon. I think I talked about this last time, where you go beyond the veil to Avalon. And I think that is where the training to be a light worker in this life was. And I think we were probably all there at some point. And we were all definitely in Atlantis. Every person who's alive now was in Atlantis. Even people you think are pieces of shit.
It's funny. Well, it's funny you say that, because Atlantis was not a nice place. It was not a utopia like a lot of people assume.
Now, it was for a little while, but no.
Well, for a little while, yeah. But then towards the end,
Made a lot
it
of
basically
mistakes.
became another slave colony. You know, they had a lot of slaves there. They were doing experiments on people and animals. And, yeah. There's a lot of karma that we're still clearing from that time, you know. And it's funny that you bring it up, because that is some of my ancestral karma and some of the things that we've been, you know. I keep getting validations from guides and from mediums who are tuning into my Akashic record, that there's a lot of baggage that we're still carrying from back then.
Oh yeah,
that we're still trying to work out.
I just this month with my group, Athena cleared from all of us from Atlantis the fear of failing spectacularly. She said, because Atlantis failed spectacularly, that is like what we have to clear. Deanne, if the course says it's closed, you're just coming at it the wrong way. It's open. You just have to go. If you go to soundwavesheal.com/Reiki, it's just that some parts are closed because they're in a bundle. So you buy it together in the bundle. That's why. If you can't find something on my site, just send me a message. And there's like a little thought bubble on the bottom too. You can send me a message.
It's such a shame that Atlantis ended up like that. That's what Starseed said. But to be honest, Atlantis was not just one place. It was a civilization, and they had many cities all over the planet. Like, it was.
That's where we get our Egypt. All of the goddesses and gods in Egypt were galactic beings and people from Atlantis. And then also, our philosophers, our Greek philosophers were from Atlantis.
Yeah. Even the Sumerians and all of that region, that whole Mesopotamia, and all of that was also Atlantis. North Africa, where they.
It's important because they know what they did wrong, and now we're going to come into a fifth dimensional with all of our memories and not fuck it up. That's the difference. We'll get all our memories
Fingers
back.
Crossed anyway, it's like we can always try again next time in 13,000 years or whatever it is. If we screw this one
They
up.
say this one works. I mean, we've talked to our future beings, the Anshars. They're pretty cool. And they come from that timeline. So.
Oh, the Mists of Avalon, that was a good one.
Yeah, yes. I'm pretty sure I read that a long time ago.
Yeah, same.
Yes, everyone needs a clearing for Atlantis. I actually have a donation-based one on my website for any amount over $1, because PayPal makes you pay at least $1, which they take all of, but that's okay. And this this is for the water clearing. Almost everybody needs that water clearing for the fall of Atlantis. If you have some weird water fear, it's usually Atlantis.
I do. Dark water. Dark water makes me really uncomfortable. If I can see the bottom, I'm fine. But as soon as there's dark water, I'm like, nope.
Yeah. I had the fear of like things eating my feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
And it's funny because it even happens in lakes. There's a lake not far from here where you can't see the bottom. It's very murky. And there's like, snakes and stuff that will come and go between your feet. And I went in there one day and I was like, nope, not doing this again. Thank you.
I'll send
dark water and snakes between my legs. No, thank you.
So there's a clearing you can watch on my website.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Daisy
Ah,
says that's why self-sabotage is so high in our population. Self-love is rare and the likes. This is the shadow that we are working on. Well said, Daisy.
yeah, that is well said.
Absolutely.
Starseed's wisdom. Are you suggesting it was all one culture, ancient Egypt, Avalon, Lemuria? No. Egypt and
Lemuria was
Greek
not.
philosophers
Yeah.
came from Atlantis. They escaped from Atlantis, basically. And then
Yes.
Lemuria is different.
So did the
Avalon,
Druids.
there's several different Avalons. This is the one that was on the other side of Atlantis, on the across behind the veil. But there's
Yeah.
one, the Celtic one too.
I would say the Celtic one is a big one because there's one of my favorite stories. I forget the name of the book, but there was a man who was a fisherman. And when he was young, he was only about 22 years old. And he disappeared for, I think it was like 3 months or something. And when they finally found, they thought he was dead, but he came home and they asked him where he was. And he goes, "Oh, I went to the island of the fairies," and was talking about how he was there. And it only seemed like one day to him. He thought he went and spent one day and he came back and it was actually 3 months later. And then
There
for
are
20
portals
years,
to the
for
Fae.
20 years he
Well,
talked about it. He's like, "I can't wait. I want to go home. I want to go back." And every time he went out fishing, he would say, "I don't know if I'll be back. I can't promise anything." You know
I
what
want
I
to
mean?
see
Like,
that. You have to send that to me.
hoping I will. I'll try and find the name of it. I can't remember the name right now. But I'll do some Googling and I'll find it. And so this guy, he ended up disappearing. He was 60 something years old and disappeared, and they found no trace of him. And everybody was like, "Well, I guess he went back." He finally, it took him 40 years or whatever it was.
Wow.
But he
Look at all the
finally got
111s.
to go back.
It was 1111, 111 viewers. That's so
Love it.
cool. Yeah, so the Syrian, no, it wasn't the Syrians, it was the elves. The elves told us in my elf masterclass, that's when I tranced them. They said there are 6 portals that go to the Fae, and then there's one on Sirius or something like that. I can't remember. But they're saying that there are portals, like, where you can go across. But they say even if you know where the portal is, that doesn't mean they'll let you go through it.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be a high vibration, I'm sure, or be invited or something like that.
Mhm.
There's got to be something. They don't want muggles just accidentally stumbling into their realm, like.
Can you imagine? Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, Mintaka.
Remind-
We've visited Mintaka,
Yes,
Lynn.
that's the other thing we were going to talk about today.
That's
Yes.
right. Yeah, I go to Mintaka all the time. I did a month of Mintaka in Orion in Tag Lightworkers too, which I know I'm always talking about, but that's where I do most of my work of connecting to different beings. And that's part of my Crete retreat too. There is this place in Mintaka where many of us were, and where we had this like light worker meeting to go to this life. And I don't know, it's pretty interesting. My guides showed it to me to make a meditation for the retreat to help you. It's called like get your seat at the table. And because it's a light worker retreat for channels, we're going to be doing a lot of channeling and also connecting to places and releasing things to get you on this higher views, a higher plane of being seen as your business so that you can help more people. But Mintakan is so cool. I go there all the time and I always feel like I'm there as a mermaid. There's like dolphins. The water's so clear. We're like diving. We go deep in the water. Last time I was there, so I see this one building was where we had that lightworker meeting. And then there's this other one. It's almost like they're on, I don't know how they're built there because it's a water planet. It's like maybe there's a little islands or something. And this is like a huge temple. I went in there and oh my gosh, it was really cool. I can't remember what happened. They did all this stuff to me for like up leveling, and it was incredible. I don't know. Sometimes I just like go there and they do these things, or I'm just like swimming and I'm like, oh, I love it here.
Beautiful. And it reminds me of that movie Avatar. If you've seen the second one.
Oh, I haven't seen the new one.
Yeah,
no
it's
one will
brilliant.
watch it.
And it's really
in this house.
Well, they're all
I'm like, let's watch it. I'm gonna have to watch it by myself later, probably.
But that's that's what it reminds me of. It's like, we have all, this is one of the reasons why we love those movies so much. It's like, we can kind of, we know it's real subconsciously, so we get tuned into it. And I've always, fantasy and sci-fi have always been my favorite genres, like hands
and time
down.
travel. Time travel's always been my favorite.
Absolutely. Yep. Doctor Who, gotta love it.
Swimming and flying at the same time. Lynn, that could be Merlin Talking, because that's where I feel that. Yeah.
Are shadow people from there, or am I remembering wrong? There's a lot of different kinds of shadow people.
Yeah, it depends what you mean.
Yeah, the ones with the fedoras, you ever seen those? The ones with the hats, and they like their capes and stuff. Those are ETs.
I have a Zeta Arcturian who wears a fedora hat, and his name's Zabayo, and he's part of my podcast.
Zabayo likes to wear a fedora.
He wears a fedora. He has because he's like dressed like a time traveler. Like he has this like coat on. He has this little briefcase, and he doesn't come forth with ascension information. He said everybody does that. He's very funny. So he's like, I'm bringing you Tales of the Universe. So he gives Tales of the Universe. It's kind of fun. I'm about to trance him again, I need to bring him back to the podcast for February.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We love anything trance, being able to communicate with people in other realms and other planets. And it's just so exciting.
We can trance if you want. If you want to, I could bring somebody forth. You can ask them.
Sure. That would be a lovely little treat. Why not? Who wants to say hi today? I was going to say, who's ready to
I mean, anybody, but.
Anybody got a message for the collective that they would like to deliver?
I was just thinking maybe Atlantis. Maybe Merlin.
Oh, don't even get me started about Merlin.
I have one of my advanced master students, April Lindevald. She trans-channels Merlin. He's her partner guide, and it's amazing. She does it all the time. You can find some on my YouTube page, but she's live in my group like every other week with a visualization with Merlin. It's so cool. Almost feel like I'm not going to do Merlin justice.
Merlin. I love Merlin. I really do.
Wonderful. I know. Okay. Well, you want me to bring
whoever wants to deliver a message, you know what I mean? We'll just.
Well, I think since we've been talking about Avalon and I could bring him through, or Our Lady, or I could bring a elemental if you want.
Oh, I'm easygoing. Whoever wants to speak today.
I feel like it should be Merlin. Okay. But I also feel like.
Is Patrick here? Yes, there's Patrick. I was just wondering if you were here, Patrick. Patrick loves Merlin too. Yay!
Well, you have to have April on the show, because when she like turns into Merlin, she's like amazing.
I would love that. Yeah, we're gonna have to connect with her, definitely.
Okay. Cool. All right, you're gonna ask questions then?
I will improvise. Yes, you guys can help me write questions.
There are many Merlins too. They're not all the same. There's he's such a multifaceted.
It's like an energy. Yes, it's like a yes.
Yeah, and he's also Saint Germain. He's another side of Saint Germain.
What a coincidence. Okay, perfect.
Oh, Odin's also here. Okay, well, we'll go with Merlin.
Odin tuned in yesterday with another medium that I was talking to. That's crazy.
Yeah, he likes to
with Loy. Loy and I were talking yesterday, and she's like, Odin is here. And I was like, oh, okay.
Odin told me the other day. Oh, that was with you, wasn't it? Where there's two crows? Was that him? Yeah. Didn't you say where there's two crows, it's me? Was it Odin who said that? No, it wasn't you. It was either Odin or... Yeah, it was Odin. He says, when you see two crows, those are my ravens. That's what he told me. It was in a session. I was thinking it was you. Yeah, because the other day, there was so much noise out there, and I was like, oh my God, how many crows are there? It was two crows talking to each other. Right after that, I got on a Zoom call session, and my client also had some crow activity, and it was Odin. And he was like, where there's two crows, it's me. It's pretty cool.
I've been seeing, the reason I thought it was me is because I've been seeing crows like crazy, and I've been talking about crows the last 3 days.
I just fed the crows. I wonder if they were called, I don't know if they'll come all the way to my deck to get those peanuts though. But I don't know where else to put it. There's snow everywhere. So I just left them out. Hopefully they'll take a chance if they're hungry.
Wow.
Yeah, I've just fed them. Okay. This probably the squirrels will take it. Squirrels they don't care. They'll come right up to my door here.
Something will eat it.
I think crows are linked with wild people, with Sasquatch. Oh, interesting. I talked to all kinds of Sasquatch beings. They're elementals. Okay, Merlin, here we go. ADD, my affliction. Okay. Hello, I appreciate this opportunity to speak with such enlightened individuals. I am Merlin. Welcome. Thank you.
Do you have a message for us today?
Yes. You are correct. It is going to be a tumultuous year for humans on Earth. However, there is a clear path through. If you can always come back to yourself, if you can always take time out and breathe and look to see what it is you are supposed to be learning, you can find your center, straight path through all the chaos and tumultuous times which could be happening around you. If you can disconnect from the deeply emotional news and know that it's not happening to you, you may send light, you may send love, you may send healing, but no, it is not happening in your world. It is not affecting you, and it is okay to send healing and not be in a state of deep mourning for the world. If you can do this and you can look at what's happening in your own world as something you must work through, you will find a clear path through this year. And near the end of the year, you will see many beautiful changes in your own life as well as in the world.
Thank you. Is there anything we can do to make it a bit softer of a blow?
And staying present in the present moment is the most important way to really live in this world. It is what we are trying to get you all to do all the time. It is why you are constantly asked to meditate and work in the spiritual realms.
The vibration is changing now, yes? Does that mean that we are raising with it and that we will be able to get through this tough time?
Yes, you will be rising with the vibration, and those who wish to stay behind will be dropping off. You will see a decline in population, even more than you're already seeing. And that is because those have gone on another route, another timeline, if you wish.
Interesting. Are all the timelines converging now?
There are many converging here, and there are many converging in a lower timeline, which you want no part of. This is for those who wish not to ascend.
So we are ascending, those in this community.
Yes. Those who are seeking ascension and who are seeking the betterment of themselves and seeking to help others from their heart space are ascending, yes. Those who are stuck in ego may have a harder time getting through the ascension process, and they may fail and they may succeed. Either way, they will go back to source and begin again.
Thank you so much for this information. It's coming through at a time when we are feeling a bit lost. Is there anything you can suggest for people who need some guidance in their life right now?
Look for the magic in your life. For what is this world without a little magic? Where is the magic and the fun? Where is the excitement? Where in your life do you have these things? What is the point of living in this beautiful, emotional, spectacular place with so many senses involved if you're not using them? Are you happy? Are you doing things that bring you pleasure? Are you feeling fun and excitement and laughter? If you're not, then you aren't truly living. You aren't supposed to come here just to work your nose to the grindstone and get through to ascension. You are also supposed to have some fun here while it lasts. It will be different when you are in the higher realms, and you will wish you had done more here.
That is a very beautiful, helpful message. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What about children? Are they already vibrating high enough to ascend? If not, is there anything
Yes.
we can do as parents to support them?
You must support them in what they bring through. And it is important if you have a child who is more connected than another that you help clear them of toxins, uh, keep them clear from too much medical intervention, and support them by learning yourself. So if you can learn some healing and spiritual practices that can bring your vibration up, then you can help them. And that is why they're here with you, so that you will raise your own vibration to help your child until they can help themselves. And by listening and affirming their imagination, as you might have called it at one time, any visions or anything that they're seeing, taking them seriously, giving them a voice, and protecting them at all times.
Thank you. Will the lower vibe people in the world that we know, will they disappear from our world when this shift occurs?
Oh, yes. They have their own timeline until they wake up. And they have chosen that.
So for those who are suffering right now in places like Gaza, they also chose that, yes?
Yes, they chose that.
And these things are going to get worse before they get better?
They may, or the news will definitely get worse. Sometimes the news and what's actually happening is not the same.
And what about the darkness, the entities that are in the world? Are they starting to be less or more, or how is that working?
They are gasping for their last breath. They will hang on and they will continue to try and ramp things up before they are gone. They will not come, of course. They cannot reach past the fourth dimension if they cannot come through love. Love is the only way to reach the fifth dimension, so they will be finished.
Thank you very much. How can we physically heal ourselves and our loved ones?
There are so many beings here who are around to help you heal, and you can learn to channel their healing through you. Study and attune to modalities that help you bring through healing for others. To channel the light is important instead of using the light within yourself. For that can deplete, but you can channel and bring healing through.
Someone asked if there are any elementals you advise us not to work with.
You may work with any elementals. They are all of the light. However, if it is not of the light, it is not an elemental. It is a trickster. You will have to learn to use your own discernment, but you should know that negative beings create negative feelings. They may give you euphoria for a price. So, your helpers and guides always bring uplifting feelings. They may also bring tasks and shadow work, but they are comforting and helpful. And lower dimensional beings are not, no matter what name they give you. They can come and pretend to be your spirit guide, your angel, your fae being, but you will be able to see through them.
Thank you. Yes, we are trying to do our best to raise the vibration and also clear out the space. Is there any further advice that you can give for us who are doing these clearings and trying to help people from these entities?
Make sure you recharge yourself by standing in the sunlight when you can. If it is an overcast day, you may still get light coats. And this is one way to really charge the body to help more. If you are finding yourself stuck, then reach out for help. You are all here together for a reason, to help each other. It is important that you do.
Can you recommend the best way to connect to our spirit guides?
Call them in and ask them to show themselves in a sign. Ask them to come closer and show up in your daily lives in one way or another. Get quiet and meditate and ask them for help and to reveal themselves in some way.
Thank you. Is there any way that we could have a little bit of Merlin magic for ourselves today? Any way that you could bless
Yes,
us?
I would like
Yes?
to bring some healing through this channel.
Please.
A little more magic in your lives is needed, I see. I feel
We would love
very
that.
much heaviness here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that was interesting.
Oh my God. That was amazing.
That's so funny.
I get chills all over.
My Merlin has like a thick, sandy mustache, which cracks me up. And then I was trying to feel the rest of him, and all I could feel was his beard like touching here, but I couldn't feel it here. But then when he put his hands up, I could see and feel his hands. He had like these like oval fingernails. That's not what I expected.
Wow.
If you guys want to learn how to meet your spirit guides, that's what my free masterclass is on my site. It teaches you how to meet your spirit guides and get to know them.
Do you hear that, guys? Make sure you check it out. In fact, I'll get the link one more time here.
And that's
That was so beautiful, Rachel. Thank you.
Sure. That was fun. He's so cool.
He really is. That was just magical. I don't know what it is about light language, but I can feel it in my body when you're singing.
Yeah. It's I mean, that's his. The way that I do it is I just channel the beings and let them bring their healing through, because they are extraordinary beings. We're just channels. So that's how I teach it too. Like, we just channel it and let them do all the work and let them bring through extraordinary things we could never do, And that's why
Yeah.
I think we're all channels. We need to learn how to work with it. We're supposed to. Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. I don't even know what to say. That just completely threw me through a loop. My brain's just like,
It took a while for him to settle
felt,
in a little there.
wow. That was so beautiful. And I felt it in my whole being. That was so special. Thank you, Rachel.
Oh, sure. It's always funny because they're always like, oh, let's sing. They like to sing through me. But I mean, that is how I do my stuff.
I love how you sing while you work too. Like, she did a thing for me the other day. She was doing a clearing for me, and she was just, as she's finding stuff, she's like singing it away. And it was so cool to watch you work. It's
Sound
amazing.
healing clears things so much faster than anything else. And you don't have to sing to do sound healing, and you don't have to be a singer. And you can still, with light language, you can bring through some beautiful tones, even if you don't know anything about singing and normally sing off key. It's amazing. Christina says, if I learned to channel, I'd never get anything done. I'd be chatting with everything unseen. Well, you just do that while you're doing the dishes. That's what I do. While you're doing the laundry, I'm just sitting here, like talking to them all the time.
That is so beautiful. Wow.
Maybe they have crap voices and like to hear themselves through you. That's funny. I'm sure that when you all channel beings, they want to do whatever you do too. And it's like, hey, let's check this out.
I'm going to share your group as well so people can join us. Dug that up. There we go. There's the link for her group.
Yeah.
You guys join on Facebook. Her group is amazing. She puts so much wonderful stuff in there for people. And, you're one of my favorite teachers, Rachel. You really are. And I'm so glad and honored that you're going to come and teach us on the 28th. Teach us some tricks. Yes.
My group.
Mark your calendars, guys. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be, what did you say, 3 p.m. is it?
3 p.m. Eastern. That's gonna be fun. We'll work with some Fae. So
and that's gonna be in the free membership. So any of you who are,
I think it's in the. I don't think it's in the free section.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I thought it was.
I don't know.
Well, maybe we could fix that because I'm pretty sure I told her to make it in the free section. So
we'll
figure that out. So
it's still being figured out. But anyway, that'd be fun if it was in the free section.
Yes, because honestly, there's a lot of people right now who need some help with this, and especially because we'll be talking so much protection too. All these different mediums are going to be bringing through their own protection techniques, and I think that's one of the most important aspects of it.
I teach a lot of that in my group too. So if you join 5D Daily, in the group guides, I give all the pre-program stuff like Spirit Circle, and there's a protection section, and Speak to Your Guide section, meditations to meet your joy guide, things like that. So, and that's also on my website too. You can get some of that for free on my website.
And you do lives, right? You do podcasts as well. Is it just Thursdays?
In my group on Thursdays, every Thursday I do more. So my podcast, I try to make it short because we're all busy. So they're like 20 minutes. Sometimes they're longer if it's a chat. But what I do is whenever we kind of discuss, I might either take it another step further and talk about it on Thursday, or I'll answer any questions that people have or whatever. So it kind of helps because we're a community of healers and channels, or people who want to be. And so we're just talking about it. And I think it's really important that we all have these conversations. So.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not going to her page.
For some reason, the link isn't going to work. It's not going to her page. Which one? Let's see.
Soundwavesheal.com?
Well, soundwavesheal.com. Let me, I'll just go to it on actual.
Let's see. The page seems to be working. Yeah.
I don't know. I'll share it one more time. Here we go. There's the link. We'll see if that works.
If you
See, they're already scoping you out. They're already trying to sign up. I love it.
If you guys
won't be disappointed, trust me.
The free masterclass is on my back site. It's I think I gave it, but I'll put it here for you. It's learn.soundwavesheal.com. That's where all my video courses are. Spirit guides. But you can also find it on my site under courses. It's free.
Okay.
So if you go in the menu on my website.
There we go. I'll just highlight it. There we go.
There. Oh, that's good.
Learn.soundwavesheal.com.
Yeah, that's my video site. I have thousands of videos, so I can't put them on my they're in my mostly in Tag Lightworkers, but I can't put it on my front site or
yes, I can get the group for you one more time. Hang on, love. I'll get you the group. They want you to join your group.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to have you guys.
5D daily? Okay.
And we also do channeling practice on Sundays. And Missy comes on. She's a Soundwaves Heal practitioner. She's at Dragon Light Warrior. She comes on Fridays and talks about crazy, weird shit she's cleared or seen. And she is who I send people to if they need a deep clearing. She does all the clearings for my company now, as I do mainly. I mean, I do clear, but I do mainly up leveling. So if you have some shiznit in your house, then you need to contact me.
That's right up our alley. We love that. We're interested in all the creatures. We want to. I would love to make
crazy stuff.
One of my goals, like if a couple years down the road after I really know my shit with this, I would love to create like a monster manual like they have in D&D where it's all like real creatures, and like a demonology book where we're talking, you know what I mean, like where it's actual information in there. I would love that.
Oh my gosh, Missy, like that's really her thing, like this deep, like if you have some crazy shit, she's your person. And I used to
connect with her because that's my thing. Crazy
but
shit.
I don't like to do it anymore if I don't have to. If it's really, if you got you got Ouija boards and you're all fucked up, then go to Missy.
Yeah, don't come here.
Go to 7D, come to me.
Oh, that's funny. I take it Missy also does clearings, yeah?
It's Facebook. Which link doesn't work? Facebook.com groups /
I just went to her website. I literally just have her website up here and I copied it from there. That's weird. Which one isn't working, Daniela? That's weird because literally I'm on her website right now. Soundwavesheal.com.
Her name is Missy Sullivan and she's at Dragon Light Warrior. Yeah, she is, yeah. She's here, and she's one of my Soundwaves Heal practitioners. Oh,
cool.
There's no prices on my website for the channeling course because you have to work for it. That's why I need to see how dedicated you are. That's why.
Well, that's good. You don't really want somebody that's going to waste your time that they're not that serious about it.
I invest heavily in my students, and so it's a deep process, and I don't take you unless you you do all the things. You're going to be there. You're going to work for 9 months. I mean, I'm literally going to lend you my audience when it's done. So I'm very, very picky about I only teach like 10 people a year. So it's really important that.
Nice.
But otherwise, I have tag lightworkers and things like that. It's about as much as you would expect a 9-month program of everything I've ever learned would be.
Paying it forward isn't cheap either, It's like we've got a lot of knowledge and experience that comes into this stuff. And I'm speaking as somebody who's at the beginning of that phase, like it's a lot of stuff to learn.
It's a lot to learn.
It's an astronomical amount of stuff to learn. It really is. You could spend 40 years studying all of this and still be, learning new stuff every day, I imagine.
Yeah, you do. And that's a good way to, when you're a channel, you can just learn new stuff, and they give me a ton of stuff because they know I'm going to teach it to everyone. I'm not like holding my best stuff back because I want to be better than you. I want to give you all the stuff and then see what you do with it. It's going to be cool. And I'll be your cheerleader and I'll help you when you have questions, and I'll lend you my audience, and I'll, help you come up with an offer, and I'll add to the program for 10 years from now. I'll still be adding to the program. I mean, I truly want to help.
Yes.
Yeah. So
big things are coming.
Yeah. And I have a couple of books I've got to finish. So I have to set up, so that I can just do that. Because Spirit gives me so much to do. I mean, it's crazy. I make a video for Tag every week. I go live in there twice. I go live every week in my group. I do a podcast every week. I do sessions every week, Thursdays and Fridays, and then I teach this course pretty much every Saturday all year long. So, I gotta.
I just got to tell people what you did for me the other day too, because you
Okay.
really helped me so much, Rachel. The other day, as you guys may have heard just briefly, I've been a little emotional about a couple friends blocking me for no reason or explanation or whatever. They won't tell me. So it was funny because Rachel and I were going to sit down and practice together because as many of you have heard, I can't meditate without falling asleep or going into a trance, I should say, because I always come back right when they're calling us back. So I know it's not like actual sleep.
That's a thing. That
But it
happens
was
to me.
but it was funny. As soon as I saw Rachel, she looked at me. She goes, "Oh, honey, you're gonna need a clearing first." I was like, "What? What's attached to me?" And she found one of those little gargoyle creatures. One of those level ones, as we call them. But you also found 3 curses, a hex, a
Oh my gosh, I
spell,
found so much, and that is not
and
normal.
a
I don't know what you
beacon
guys have
on me.
found.
There was a beacon.
Yeah,
If you
beacon
remember.
calling in attachments. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody literally put a beacon on me where basically it's like one of those like lost at sea things where it's like bloop, bloop, bloop. And
In
it's like
fact, I
calling
don't think I
entities to
cleared
you.
the entry point for that. Let me clear your entry point. They're telling me.
Yeah, it's quite literally like a homing beacon where it's
It's
just
like a homing
calling
beacon. It
entities.
calls in entities. Yeah, you can have that. I cleared
So
yours.
I clearly pissed off somebody. Yeah, the spell and all of that shit. But
Yeah,
this is one of those things where when you are fighting for the light, you're going to piss off the dark, unfortunately. And sometimes they will try and mess with you and they don't like something doesn't like what you're doing. So
and you know what? Anything done can be undone. It's not a big deal. And every time that spirit allows something to fuck with you, it's for a reason so that you learn because you learn something. I mean, I went through a period of time where I had a client who I didn't realize had some serious mental problems. And this is one of the reasons why I have such a deep vetting program for my program now, because I don't want to teach these high level things to people who have mental problems or take painkillers or do anything that could keep them from being clear, because it's dangerous. And so this woman sent so many demons to me that it took me a long time to fix it. For me, it took me weeks. I had to get the help of Steve Nobel. He helped me. And I learned a whole lot about that. And that's part of my program now. And I see that happening to people, like where you get to a certain level of channeling and you might get like this period of being unclear. And what you do during that time will determine like what spirit will give you. You have to like get through that, learn what they're trying to teach you, and you will get through it. If you just wallow in it for years, then that's it. That's your story. You're wallowing in it for the rest of your life. Or you can learn to get through it. And it happens to people all the time. And that's why it's part of the things like that are part of my program, because it happened to me for a reason. So I could really see that it's true, that it works, and to help people with it. And you're going to hear people say, "Oh, I don't need protection anymore." That's great. But are you where they are? You know what I mean? If you are working 24/7 and helping others, channeling energy, working with your guides, and you don't get triggered, you don't have a hard life, you don't have any problems that trigger you, and maybe you have some astrological human design that's like easy peasy, then of course you're not going to have any problems. But if you have come to this life with trauma, deep trauma, and which most of us have, or you get triggered, or you're still working on things like that, then you have to, learn and get past it. And at some point you won't need some. I mean, I hardly use any anymore. I don't need it. And plus I'm very, open now, so I can see, oh, this thing is trying to get me, so I get rid of it. And it doesn't. So, and there's still times where I need a clearing. I have a partner, where she was my original client, and she's an amazing healer, and we work on each other every month. And it's important to have that kind of stuff too. That's my spiel.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. And it does come to be a point where you end up noticing when your energy isn't right, and you end up calling in your guides. And it's funny, I've only been spending like 2 months really just kind of tuning into my own energy. And last night I actually felt something was wrong, and we found a portal standing 2 feet in front of me. I'm literally standing at my stove cooking, and I'm on the phone with one of my medium friends, and I'm like, something just doesn't feel right. And she's like, do you need clearing? I was like, I don't know. I just don't feel like, can you check for portals? And she's like, there's a portal at your microwave. And I laughed, and I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
I'm literally standing in front of my microwave as you tell me this. Like, the odds of that, because I wasn't using it. I was just, I was cooking on the stove. I was using just a pan.
Crazy.
But the funny thing is,
In the
even
microwave.
in the microwave, yeah. Or next to the microwave, she said. Yeah, there's one right next to the microwave, right in front of the microwave. And I was like, I'm right in front of the microwave. And she's like, well, that's why you felt something was wrong. You were standing in front of a portal and you didn't even notice. Oh, it just goes to show, like, we don't recognize that, these energies are affecting us. And then you start to feel like the more you're trying to make yourself sensitive to these energies, just setting your intention to be sensitive to the energies is what I think is happening, because I tuned in immediately and I knew.
Yeah, that's part of my course too. I teach people deep discernment as much as possible. I get their guides to give them their own personal discernment lessons. We talk about it. We work on it together. We're always like a soul group. And I also teach discernment by showing you for 22 weeks what it's like to do it in the right way with light. And you're practicing also. I have a supportive group. And that in itself will teach you when you're not. And I used to teach them in small. So these are like 7 classes that I put together. And I used to teach them separately. And it just didn't work as well as putting them all together. It's you just kind of have to like commit to the whole thing, all the classes. And then I add clearings. Like before, I used to be like, just make sure you like come to me if you need a clearing. And it just didn't work. Like for some reason, it just wasn't enough. Like people need more than 5 weeks. They need a long time. So it's a 22 weekend course of live sessions, and it's 9 months altogether.
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Rachel. I feel so blessed every time I talk to you. I feel so blessed to talk to you. I really do. You are just the most wonderful person. I do. And I'm so thankful that you have accepted to come and teach us on the 28th. I'm excited. I'm so stoked about it.
I just want you guys to know that I'm like buried under snow. I mean, you can see I have a kid home. So, and my husband's not here. So my divinate, it will be updated soon, maybe in the middle of the night. Right now it's got like nothing on it, but I'm working on it. I'll be working on it today.
It's totally okay.
Or I might be watching Avatar, but I'll do it soon.
You totally have to watch Avatar and let me know what you think. Seriously, you're going to love it. It's The Way of Water. It's better than the first one.
No,
it's better than the first one. It is.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll probably watch it today. All right, Divinate.
Yeah, you're going to love it. Trust me. I absolutely loved the movie. I went and saw it in theaters and I was just like, yeah. Oh, it's amazing. Great movie. So I want to plug this really quick for Divinate, since we're mentioning it. Tonight at 7:30 p.m., Christopher and Daniela are going to be helping you make your divinate profiles. They're going to be teaching people to help them with their divinate stuff. So it's going to be a little training course on how to.
That might be where I'm plugging everything in.
Exactly. Awesome.
If you haven't done your divinate page yet, I think it's going to be a good way to like give you that impetus to do it. That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm going to come and listen, and then I'll be doing it at the same time. And I feel like that kind of group energy will help you get through it,
Yes, exactly. Yes. And yes, it is free. You can sign up for Divinate for free. We do have some events on there that are for the paid membership. The paid membership is $18 a month, but we have I think we have at least 18 workshops a month now. So it's like you're paying $1 per workshop.
That's such a good price. That's amazing.
Yes, absolutely. So for those of you who need some help with the tech department, make sure you tune in tonight at 7:30 with Daniela and Christopher so they can, just give you guys a little help in that area. And we also have Kaya in the mornings at 9:30. So make sure that you're checking out Kaya with her morning activations because they're really amazing. And thank you again, Rachel. I love having these conversations with you. We're gonna see you again in a couple weeks, I imagine, because we'll just
That'd be great.
And you also have, just to plug it one more time, you do have that retreat in Crete. You have some spaces still available for that?
I do, and you do have to sign up for the end of February, and there's some payment plans too. But yes, this is for light workers who want to expand their reach, like spiritually. I'm not teaching you business stuff. I'm channeling the clearing of your fears and blocks, and we're working with light beings, channeling them and getting them to help us stand in a higher platform so we can help more people. And it's going to be
magical place to do that.
Yeah, and you don't have to channel. Like, it might be for you anyway. It's another qualification process, but if you like to channel, there's going to be plenty of practice channeling, or you can just watch everyone else channel. That's fine too.
I love it. I love it. I do.
Well, Laura, you should come. I think you'd love it.
I will try. Life has been crazy, you know. If I had the option to go to Greece, I would always say yes every single time.
It's gonna be amazing. Love it. It's May 5th through 11th. Yeah.
Well, the problem is I have an event May 16th in Colorado.
Oh, you can make it.
I know it's the only thing. But you never know. If it's meant to be, it'll happen. So I never say never about anything.
We're gonna stay in Greece a few extra days to go to a different resort the next week.
Nice.
Well, family vacation.
I can't wait for some warmth in my life, especially with this weather. Oh yeah, looking out no. It's so cold looking. Oh yeah, we got a lot of snow. In fact, I'll even show you guys. Look at this.
I'll show you there too. I mean, you can't see, it's all white. Let's see. Yeah, you can't tell. It's just white. Yeah. That's what it looks like here, and that's not normal here. It's crazy. You have a lot more though. Oh, you're muted, Lara. You're muted.
That was weird. Okay, it's because I unplugged my thing. So yeah, this is definitely weird. I'm hoping it's gonna melt soon. Not a fan.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's been fun.
It's a pleasure.
Okay.
Much love, everybody. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye, guys.
Bye.